Hello and welcome to another tutorial using a fabric panel. Today I will be showing you how to make this zippered bag. This would make a great pencil case or makeup bag. The outer fabric is the cat's panel from Makower using the blocks that are 4.5 inches by 10 inches. The inner fabric is a plain hot pink also from Makower Spectrum range. The wadding I'm using is the Bosal fusible fleece. You could use any wadding you like, but I find the fusible ones easier to work with. You will also need a zip that is at least the length of the top of the bag. Basic sewing tools like a rotary cutter and ruler, sewing machine, etc. Let's start off by cutting out the panels. Make sure you leave a half-inch seam allowance all the way around. That's the front and back pieces cut. Now for the wadding, you want to cut it the same size as the panel without the seam allowance. This is to reduce bulk when it's turned out. The lining is the same size as the front and back pieces. You can use these as a template to cut them out. So to recap, we have to outer fabrics to inner fabrics all the same size. Wadding cut smaller to allow for seam allowance. A long zip. I use these bits of fabric to create zipper tabs. These are 1 inch squared. I have another piece of fabric to make a loop for a handle. Mine is 2.5 inch by 5 inch, but you can make yours longer or shorter. The wadding has been ironed in place and is firmly stuck. If you had normal wadding, you can sew or quilt it onto the front and back pieces to hold it in place. I'm going to sew around the border to add some detail. We are also going to sew the loop for the handle and attach the zipper tabs. Let's sew around the border first. I like to pull my threads through to the back and tie them off to create a neater look at the front. For the loop, fold the fabric lengthways and sew 1/4 inch down the raw edge side. Backstitch top and bottom. Turn right sides out, with the seam to the side or along the middle, sew to lines of stitching either side of the loop. Now we will do the zipper tabs. I use the front panel as a reference. Starting at the closed end, place the tabs right sides towards the zip and with the raw edge starting at the stopper. Remember to put one on the back as well. We sew across the tab and zip, back stitching both ends. Before folding them back, cut off the excess zip. This will reduce bulk in the side seams and aid turning. Sew back across the top to fold it in place. Using the front panel again, we can work out where the other tab needs to be placed. You need part of the tab in the seam allowance and the other part in panel area. Now go to the other end of the zip. Place your tab face down so that the raw edge is just inside the panel. This is so when you sew across and flip the tab back, it will be in the right place. Part in the seam and part in the panel. Remember to make sure the zip is on the inside before you sew. Pin or clip these in place to stop the zip from opening and at the back tab in place. sew across as before. Cut off the excess zip, fold back the tabs and the sew across to hold in place. The next step is to place the zipper in the bag. Start with the front outer fabric face up, lay the zip face down and line it up with the top edge of the fabric. Now lay the lining fabric face down on top of them. Line all the top and side edges. Pin or clip in place to hold it while you sew it. If you have a zipper foot or can move your needle across, then this will help. When you come to the zipper pull, stop with your needle down, lift the foot, reach inside the fabrics and slide the zipper away. Continue sewing to the end. Your zip is now sandwiched between the outer and inner layers. Pin these together away from the zip. Let's do the other side. Like before, have the back outer fabric face up, lay the zip sandwich face down, lining up the top edge. Then lay the lining fabric face down on top of it all. Check all the edges line up with each other, including the sides. Pin or clip in place to hold it before sewing. Sew along the top, moving the zipper pull out of the way when you get to it. Now when we open it out, we should have the lining together and the outer fabrics the same. We are going to top stitch the fabrics away from the zip so they don't get caught in it. Pull the outer and inner fabrics away from the zip on either side and pin them secure. Run a stitch down one side of the zip, across the bottom on the zipper tab, up the other side and across the top on the other tab back to where you started. If you have made the loop handle, you can add this now either to the end of the zip or down the side. If you add it to the side, tack stitch it to the outer fabric only facing inwards. I like to add my company label too. So let's put it together. Open the zip fully. Take the two outer fabrics and bring them right sides together, lining up the edges and pin in place. Bring the lining pieces together the same way, lining up the edges and pinning. On the sides where the zip and fabrics meet, push the zip away from the outer fabric towards the lining, flattening the zip. Use a clip to hold it in place. Now we are going to sew all the way around the edge, leaving a gap in the lining at the bottom for turning out. Take your time in the zip area. Remember to sew along the panel block edge to get a nice finish. Backstitch at the start and end. Snip off the corners and excess fabric to reduce bulk. Turn right sides out, pushing out the corners with a pointer. Once you're happy, sew up the hole in the lining by hand or on the machine. Stuff the lining inside and give the bag a good iron. This is a great little bag to store stationery, makeup and toiletries, craft tools and more. Adjust the pattern by using a different size or print of panel block. Check out my channel for more makes using a fabric panel, plus other sewing and crafting videos. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. See you soon.